2 calls. So one call was in 2014. Those projects have started in the beginning of 2015. So they are running for 2 years now. Some, as for us, for example, are about to be completed already. We have impressive results already. So these are the ones you're going to see today. Then we have also invited the ones from 2016 call. They have just started or are just about to start. also the Digitizing the European Industry Initiative, which of course is now going hand in hand and influencing very much the future program too. And I think you have to talk at the microphone. Okay, so the word is yours. And if you want to switch it up.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Yeah, welcome to this consultation event. I think it's great that you come in such a big number. These events are always very interesting because you all run projects and you have interesting results. This is one of the opportunities where you can exchange and network, show what you have done. So this is very good. And I'm grateful to the organizers from SmartCPS and TAMS4CPS that you did this exercise, that you brought also people, how should I say, I try to avoid the word, we have calls, and when we do calls, a certain group of people answer to the calls. And you have here reached out to SCORPIUS, for example. So it's very good. I welcome the SCORPIUS people here. Thanks for coming as well. There will be talks about Artemis, so that refers to the Excel program, which is again another program. Yeah, and so this exchange is very good. I wanted to say also that what has happened actually in our unit, in our activities, that we do more than just genuine research funding. The research funding, you know, since decades, the Commission has always been doing. But since Horizon 2020 started, we also try to help setting up a framework which is good for innovation in Europe, which helps to keep jobs here. And we do this using our instruments. You know the instruments, but what is maybe not so well known is the ideas that we have picked up from the stakeholders that drive these activities. So the first thing, if you want to do a policy initiative, is that you invent a nice name. The nice name is digitizing European industry. Digitizing digital transformation. So, but what is this about? When I try to elaborate a bit in 15 minutes, that's a kind of a short version. Some of you know that there is an event in Essen, Germany, a much larger event with 600 people, and this 2 days, I think, event is dedicated totally to the digital transformation of European industry. So, if you are interested, have a look on the website. You will later see how the website, the link of the website, and look into it. So that's very interesting, I think. And I hope I can convince you why. So first of all, I start with what you know very well, the technologies that drive the digital transformation. Let's try out now the laser pointer. It works fantastic. So I think there's no doubt nobody in Europe has something against innovation in products, innovation in processes, and innovation in business models. So that's certainly a good thing. And there's now more, how should I say, more momentum. Why is this? Because there are interesting technologies around that took up speed. First, the Internet of Things, and then I want to see it here in a very broad sense. So that's connecting things, but it's also making these things intelligent. So embedded software plays a role, the sensors plays a role, that you can reach out from the cyber world to the real world, to get real data in with sensors, actuators. Very often this needs to be low power because you carry around the devices, so you have to make sure that the processing is starting at low power. Using light is very nice, so they say here. So to connect is also very important. That's the Internet of Things strand of technology. Then you have the big data. Big data means that you process data, that you analyze the data, that you aggregate the data. So the data is abundant, that's clear, but it's very difficult to make sense of it. And exactly this is what big data is about. Analytics, cloud. High performance machines are intelligent, and we want to have the machines to be intelligent. So we want to have the artifacts to be intelligent. It's certainly connected with autonomous systems. If you want to have a system to be autonomous, then exactly what if it does all the things by itself, then you need to have some intelligence. So that's the other strand of technology. It's connected with robotics, automation, with machine learning, self-driving. It goes that far in the Commission that the unit robotics, who was devoted to robotics, it has a new name actually, and the second part of the name is exactly robotics and artificial intelligence. It shows that also we at the Commission take this serious. Anyhow, these three technologies are the ones that drive this digital transformation. That's fine. I think that was just a reminder. The second thing which I want to stress, this is for the researchers and for the technology developers. If you think in terms of business, okay, all this is connected, you know it. If you want to really build these things, many of you are engineers, and I think the natural desire of engineers is to bring technology into reality, then I think it's good to think in value chains. And we talk about ICT, so we talk about digital value chains. Value chains means that you have, when you engineer these things and you build it, that you have to have a whole chain in place. So one player cannot do everything, what you see here on the picture. So if you start on the left, you can leave that, okay, that's the ground, the foundational building blocks, certainly the chips, the electronics, and also the computing architecture. You need software, you need connectivity technology. I think everybody knows 5G, so that's coming technology for communication. So you need all this, but if you stop here, it doesn't go that far, isn't it? Then in the very right, you have the systems that people can use. So autonomous car, this is kind of always high, how should I say, very ambitious goals. Let's see how much autonomy we will need, how much autonomy we want to have in the cars. But anyhow, that's where many are working towards. Smart factory is a very good thing to have, and which is immediately clear how it helps people and factories. Healthy aging, then it's not complete, there can be much more online platforms, energy, whatever. But these are the systems. But you cannot jump immediately from the tube to the autonomous car. There's something in between. For example, robots, so technology, machinery, AI again, artificial intelligence, big data, data analytics, cloud computing, Internet of Things. Anyhow, if you are a company, then you operate here or here, but you rarely operate at the whole thing. So this is why, if you think in terms of innovation, if you put yourself in our shoes, you have to think all of these pieces of the value chain and to create a framework where this value chain can work well together. So for you, for the researchers, it means also if you do something, I don't know, cyber-physics systems is maybe all this stuff here, a little bit here, that you know which results you need in order to do your research. And then you also know who will use and how your results will be used, so that you have the whole picture in mind. And this happens also. In microelectronics, people sit together, industry leaders, and they were thinking, who will in the future need our chips and what are they used to? So they came up with thinking about these things, and then they tried to develop a strategy that they can feed into this. The same is happening in high-performance computing. Anyhow, I want to expose you to this, that you kind of see where your research is positioned. And we from the Commission, together with member states and regions, we try to get the framework conditions right. Time not to get lost. Now I kind of look back what we have today. Oops. Okay, I didn't make the slide, but now it's complete. this program, the bulk of our money is being spent. So I see cyber-physical systems that was here in connection with Excel. And this answers already part of the question of Meike or the hint. It looks like the CPS activity funded by the Commission is shrinking. It's not true. If you look into it in combination with Excel, you see that it's even above average the budget development. I think that's one of the messages I want to give. So here is Excel, and cyber-physical systems activities are funded here, but not only here, also in Internet of Things, certainly also in factories of the future. SCORPIUS colleagues will say something about it, what is important for manufacturing, and the others will develop, this is also a good cyber-physical system. So I think, let's see. Then robotics is certainly interesting. If you look as somebody who is interested in funding it and look at these codes, artificial intelligence, maybe also big data, high performance computing, or maybe 5G and photonics I just mentioned. And I mentioned there's cybersecurity. This is a brand new public-private partnership with significant funding, which started last year, June. Anyhow, it started mid of 2016. We were, how should I say, we heard strong voices that this is very important. That's clear, cybersecurity is important, but also the research in cybersecurity would be important. And we responded by setting up this special public-private partnership. Good. So this is what the Commission kind of offers today. And you might wonder, what has this to do with digital transformation? You just continue this and all will be fine. Yeah, the trick is, of course, I give already part of the answer. First part is, we, with the easy money, we just have a part of the funding money in Europe. So that's one thing. That we reach out to member states and to regional funding agencies to see how we can work better together, to see where synergies are. There could be share of work, simply speaking, yes. There could be stressing something which is especially important, like manufacturing. I see the colleagues smiling because they're happy. There's a strong program in industry, in all the countries, and we, the Commission, do it as well. I think it's a very good thing to do, isn't it? There might be other fields where this makes sense. So, on one slide, this is condensed everything, all the strands of activities we have in digitizing European industry. Has been launched in April last year by Commissioner Oettinger. It would lead much too far if I would go through all of this, but I just say digitizing industry are considered. So that you need new skills, that the question, you have to answer the question on the policy side, what will happen to the jobs of the workers, to the employees, how is that going to be transformed? So this is also be taken care of, but it's not a topic for today, so I will not talk about it. I will want to talk about this public-private partnership, and the heading here is strengthening leadership in key parts of the digital value chain. So public-private partnership, what industrial platforms could be, and large-scale pilots and testbeds. So this is one important activity, one of, depends how you count, but in the paper there are 5, and I want to talk exactly about this. Show the program. And I start with a kind of a vision. The vision is driven by the enormous success of the online platforms in the internet business. And you know all these platforms. This is, for example, the Android operating system, what Amazon does, Apple, and the like. And the thinking is, can something similar, if we look into the future, which we cannot, but we can try, can something similar happen it's important to think about it, because if it were, and such platform would scale like Google platform did, that's certainly something not to miss, isn't it? So, and if you speculate a bit where such platforms could be, one could first start to look at it from the sector. So manufacturing could be one, or there could be platforms in manufacturing. Let me put like this. There could be future platforms in food or in agriculture, in energy. Think of, I'm searching for the word, we have these smart meters. They are very nice, yeah. But the really nice thing is that you have a system where you as a producer of energy can sell your electricity, that you can switch on your heavily consuming devices when electricity is cheap, and all this is at the moment not working, but with IT it could work, no doubt. I don't go on all to this, but I want to say you can categorize these platforms also, you can look at them for cross-sector level. I start with components. So in microelectronics you don't have 200 different types of processors. You have just a few, so you have platforms. And it's division of labor thing, but there could be more for the new devices, in photonics for example. The same for IoT, cyber-physical systems. We will certainly hear over the day something what could be done interestingly in cyber-physical systems and whether there could be platforms. Artificial intelligence, big data, and all this. So, there's platform activity. Now I narrow again down my scope. I will now play with the example of manufacturing. The remaining 5 minutes. There's this notion, this activity of Industry 4.0 around. And a well-known person, Mr. Kagermann, at least in Germany is well known, but he's a founder of SAP, and SAP everybody in the room knows. He was collecting the key challenges for Industry 4.0. So these are the challenges. According to semantics, which is talking the same language, and models, very interesting for Industry 4.0. But this is really an appeal for the academic world to think of models. This is very complicated. You cannot really, how should I say, force it. You have to be patient and to work for a long time. Then systems engineering. Very obvious. The systems of the future. What is sure that they are getting more and more complicated. And you have to have methods to deal with them. Logistics is very important. If you think of value chains, you have to connect. And what is also interesting, the different players, they need to be able to foresee what is needed, how much do I need to produce tomorrow or the next week, and what parts do I have. In a moment, there's always a human being who has to click into order. If you can automate these ordering system and contracting and establish such value networks, this would be very good, isn't it? And all the machines and the systems should become more and more autonomous, but they will never be 100% autonomous. This is also clear, because the human being wants to be in control. Then you have to think about how to organize these interactions of human beings and production systems. So these are, one can discuss it, but these are certainly interesting challenges for Industry 4.0. That's the desired outcome. And what's happening on the ground, if you want so? There are already a couple of platforms. They all have to do with manufacturing, and they're industry-driven. There, of course, is a slide the Commission likes to show with many logos. You see there's a big involvement. But I want to guide you first the categories. So all these are existing platforms. It's not so much vision. First I talked about vision. These are existing platforms, and they are different maturity. And it's interesting to see whether they are vertical in one sector. These are in a certain sector, and how they are led. They can led by one company, say extreme. They can led by a group. They can led by a whole community. RAMI, reference architectures. These are certainly a community-led initiative. Also what we have funded, the FIWARE, is community-led in vertical sectors. Then cross-sector activity would be, this is standing for industrial data space. This is for safety critical systems, S3P, which started in France, which is getting more and more traction. I want to mention Internet of Things, even not being from the unit Internet of Things, but the colleagues are doing good work in establishing this forum. You know it. There's also Internet of Things calls. I encourage you to study carefully what they're calling, because you will see that you can apply for it in many cases. Crystal is a large project which deals on interfaces between models which you need in manufacturing, runs the Excel program. There's Arrowhead, and I've seen there's also Meike in the room. We shook hands. Meike, we talked about Arrowhead, so I don't need to do it. It's a project, a very large project on manufacturing, and so on. I think I stop here. I just wanted to mention that there are also proprietary platforms. In many cases, you as an innovator, you are confronted that the proprietary platform is in place, and then your creativity would go into what is putting something on top of this platform. And here are some lists. Good. This is my large slide with new content, if you want so. I wanted to just show in one slide, what do we want to do on top of our research funding? Well, we want to do two things. We want to reach out to the member states and to the regions to do something with them together. Coordinate our programs. First thing. Second thing is we want to establish test beds and large-scale pilots in cooperation with industry. How could it work? On a PowerPoint slide. So if we start with what is in the center, again to remind you, the idea is to go for such a platform. If people tell us there's an important opportunity in manufacturing, what could be done? One could fund activities, we could fund them from the European Union, Manufacturers of the Future, Inspire and Excel, where such platforms would be developed and would be integrated. Because you have to put pieces together. You need to spend money and effort to integrate. And then you would strengthen interoperability and you would create a framework. But this would never fly on its own. You need also experiments. And I don't know where to start. Maybe I start here. We talk about transport. So let's see, in an auto factory, one would do experiments which are close to reality. One would try out technologies. So that's the new thing if you want. Then one would also have big experiments in another automotive lab. Small companies also need to be involved. Essen, 800 people registered, and let's see how many really will come. The main objective is to show to the world that Commission does something with member states. So Essen, the Essen event is organized, co-organized by the German Ministry for Research and also for economy. And there will be policy decision makers, there will be people from industry, there will be panels with high-ranking industry leaders, and there will be also workshops on different sectors. So, for example, in health, in automotive, in manufacturing, and there will be also reporting taking place. What has been achieved so far? Where are we? Is there any willingness of the member states to cooperate with us? So that's one who learn something about this. And also, does this platform idea, which I talked about, will be discussed? What makes really sense for the people? So, kind of stock taking, and if you want, so I shouldn't use the word, I will not say marketing, but it's political communication, that this is high on the agenda, this digital transformation of industry. I hope this answers. So it's reaching out, it's the first of its kind. Anybody can register now, it's of course late because it's tomorrow, but it's the first really large event on digitizing European industry.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we will leave further questions for the coffee break. And then I'm going to continue presenting more to CPS. So is it very much lower the voice if I talk into that microphone? Then I would use the other one, but I think if I'm going close to that, it's good enough. various workshops, mainly face-to-face, all those 500. And we had lots of interesting workshops here I'm going to tell you a little bit more about. And the outputs as such, I would say, are what will remain, and maybe I would advise you to have a look at if interested. So we did this impact and gap analysis, which is a report. We have, because it was not an easy made, custom-made tool for it, which I would later also recommend for further use by you, for example. We did a catalog of program achievements. We did case studies, which are targeted at SMEs. We have this technology application and strategy roadmap. We are having recommendations, which is a deliverable due tomorrow, so we will have it by tomorrow. Then we did a lot of community building workshops, and here we have quite interesting associated reports. You can find all of that quite easily on our website. Coming to the results and key messages we wanted to draw. Of course, we've seen great impact that has been achieved, but of course it's also hard to measure. So what we did is we extracted some impressive success stories. We did this catalog of program achievements for the ICT1 project, which we asked the coordinators directly. So this is kind of a booklet you can also spread. We have developed this customized tools and have this gap analysis. I'm just going to show you that tool. Of course, you can't really understand it like that, but maybe you can see that your project is listed here. So we have done that for 72 projects. So we had 54 in the beginning, and then the reviewers thought we could do another 18. So we had the Horizon 2020, ICT1, we had some from FP7, and we included some Artemis projects too. In this tool, there's a lot of information. So each and every project has been looked for, well, those closed for, is there patterns, applications, is there startups, is there like this, what we call impact, but we put much more information there about goals, aims, achievements. What else do they have? We have included loads of information there, and now the tool is there with a lot of information, and the question is if somebody of you wants to continue using this. So this is maybe something you can come up to me, but it's been done at Loughborough University, so Meike Reimann or Northington would be the right people to really target here. If you want to kind of do something with that tool because the project is over, it will sleep in a way if we don't. With that tool and information, we also did the gap analysis, and this is much too complicated to understand, I see. We have 67 bubbles there, which are gaps. These gaps are on different interoperability levels, and then we have gray bubbles, which are the projects which target them. This is a great analysis. You can do per gap, per project, or whatever. So whoever is interested in knowing more about that should really come up to us. Then the catalog of program achievements. So this is something that you can use for yourself or spread or get informed about the ICT1 project. And through that activity we've seen, well, on the one side the gap analysis showed us that more federation of efforts is needed, so projects should be linked much better. The follow-up also should be better to really see what impact has been created. So if you really want to assess that, then the project should be in a way followed up much better. Custom then we're doing those 100 people events which are cluster projects and communities, but also disseminate to a broader community. So we think this is quite a good benefit, because what we saw is that in the road mapping workshops we put IoT people, factors of the future people, the IT community and everybody together, and sometimes they were not that aware that these roadmaps, these other roadmaps exist, and that they were mostly talking in the same direction. So it's good to bring these people even within the European Commercial Funded projects together. Another thing also is to really make a matchmaking between supply and demand. We did that for platforms, saying what is there on the supply side and what is really needed from the demand. Now coming to the road mapping, I'm not going to dive that deep into that, also for the time. We did a roadmap for the application domains, and here we had 5 domains: manufacturing, smart energy, smart transport, smart health, and smart city. I will not show you the individual needs of all those domains, but just capture what did they have in common. So what should maybe also technology teams have a look at. So it was always regulatory frameworks for the different domains. It was always like education or reskilling people. It was going for open solution standards, interoperability, to make it possible for SMEs also to enter that ecosystem. It was on enhancing ecosystem building as such. It was always addressing security and privacy issues. This could be on the technological side, but also on legal frameworks. And business models. Business models also go along with, of course, the culture of innovation or entrepreneurship. Then demonstrations would help a lot, and test beds to really test things, but they are up high already in the next program, and as said, success stories. This is for the application domains. Then this is kind of a repetition of what is there. The technological priority themes. Here it was also, maybe I have to mention, we did not kind of create a new roadmap, because just in the beginning of the project Anna said we have many roadmaps already, but try to find the concepts and update existing roadmaps. So we put many people in the room from the roadmaps running and kind of asked them, what are your priority themes? And then, so this is not totally new themes, this is more the themes that are really full consensus of the whole community. So the first 3 kind of go together. Integration, interoperability, reference architectures, platforms. This is something that always came up, and the EU has endorsed already. So this has become a real main topic of the initiative, digitizing the European industry initiative, and I think of the next work programs too. So much has been done there already, but this is still very high on the agenda. Regarding platforms, we can always discuss, of course, they should be open and modular and good access by everybody and so on. were not that